A few years back, I made a feature film for $7,000 in 7 days with less than 7 people. What started out as an experiment to see what could be done with less actually opened a whole wide world of what filmmaking could be moving forward. So today, I'm going to break down the opening scene of that exact film and show you how we made everything. So sit back, relax, and I hope this inspires you to make your own film. So what we're looking at right here, we're going to break this down a little bit and get a Sharpie. And so some of the things that we're seeing here, this is called mise-en-scene. So mise-en-scene is everything within the frame. And the first thing that you see here is the name Sam Randall Thompson. And Sam is the name of the person that has passed away. You're going to find out here in a minute who these people are that are related to it, but this was the brother of that. You'll also see that we kind of made this, we put together this flyer from the funeral, and so because we knew we didn't have a lot of budget to work with, but we did have a lot of means to be able to bring this together in kind of documentation that we could show you. I'm always a big proponent of show, don't tell. Don't make it on the nose. Let us know what's going on. If you're looking at this in this first kind of frame, I wanted you to be able to tell here. In this first frame, I wanted you to know that I was at a cemetery. I wanted you to know that I was at a funeral. I wanted you to know who the name of the person was. And so you might be looking at it and going like, okay, why is it a little softer? Why is there a lot of grain? And this is with a camera called the Digital Bolex. And so the Digital Bolex is made to be a camera that looks like a film camera, like an actual 16mm film camera. So it's a little bit grainier. And like I said, we filmed this after we'd filmed the rest of the movie. The rest of the movie, if you watch it, is on a different camera. It looks different. This was a flashback, and I wanted to give you some kind of visual symmetry that you could look at and you would know where we're at. We flash back a couple of times, and there's 3 or 4 scenes that are shot on this camera. And I wanted to let you know almost immediately what you were looking at. And so I wanted you to have that kind of visual in your mind. And if we cut to that, I don't want to have to tell you this is a flashback or anything like that. I want you as the audience to be able to know that. So when you're making your film, you might want to do that as well. So let's keep going through here.
Here, if I sit with you.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit here. And we have our wide shots. And so in this wide shot here, we also have a close-up of that, but we have a wide shot of the entire cemetery here. We shot this cemetery. We went really early. It was a very small cemetery that was about 45 minutes outside of LA. I couldn't even remember the name of the town. It was kind of based up against the mountains and everything, and it was very, very quiet and quaint. And so we just kind of went in there, and it was just us and a camera and a bench. And so we didn't bring a lot of attention to ourselves. But if you're looking at this right now, they're sitting right here. So that shot we had just a minute ago was right here over her shoulder. She was looking at that flyer. And now we come back into this very, very big wide shot that you see right here. So we have the 2 of them here, and the reason I put Jane's character here, Rachel, it's her brother, I put her closer to the camera. And I did that because when we cut to this wide shot, I wanted it to be more about her. We start with her story, and then we slowly shift into Charles's story, which is Casey. And then it's all about them together. And so if you're new to filmmaking and everything, we're going to look at this as like the rule of thirds. And so the rule of thirds is just a composition technique. And basically what we're doing is we're either putting things on this intersection, or we're putting it on the actual vertical. So you can see that I weighted it over here with a tombstone, and I weighted it over here with the people. And so the reason that we got that composition is if you don't know where we're at by now, you can start to piece it together. We have the tombstone, we have the people here, we have some graves in the foreground. We have this kind of very, very balanced frame. I didn't want you to have to think a lot about this frame. There's already a lot of stuff going on. They're also talking very cryptically because they've known each other since they were little kids. We're meeting them, we're only 25 seconds into the movie, so it's kind of cryptic what they're talking about. Let's check it out.
Here, if I sit with you. So how long are you in town for?
I'm not. I mean, I leave tonight.
All right, so let's go into some of these other kind of close-ups that we have here. We'll go to that one here in a second. But we have these kind of like medium close-up shots. And as you'll see, if you're looking at these kind of next to each other, they're about the same size. So we have this really close-up shot here, and then we have these kind of medium close-ups that we have. And so they're kind of at the chest here. That's a medium close-up, kind of the top half of you. And the reason that I did that was I want to get you close into that action. I wanted you to see what they're talking about. Also, I wanted you to be able to see their emotions of what they were going through. Keep in mind, this entire film was improvised, even this scene. So everything that you're seeing, the actors are just doing it, and then we're having to figure it out technically how we're going to cover all those kind of things. So you can see that we have Charles is on the right side here. Jane is on the left side. So when we cut back and forth, they're looking at each other. So she's looking this direction and he's looking this direction. You have to kind of think about that. So that's called the 180 line. And if you cross over that, people will be looking in the wrong direction. It'd be like cutting from this to this. That would be hard to look at. So we're piecing this together so we can have this information easily viewable for our audience. So let's check that out. That's a reflection of a light up there.
Mom wants me to stay, but I just can't.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, so let's go to this wide shot. So this wide shot here, or not wide shot, but this two shot that we have, once again, if we're going to that kind of like rule of thirds aspect, you can see, woo, that I put their eyes right on that horizontal line there. And the reason that we did that is because, once again, I don't want you to have to spend a lot of energy decoding what this image is. I want you to just to be able to look at it, watch it, and all those kind of things. You can see also these highlights back here that kind of bloom. And so you can see that we're a little underexposed on the face, and that was on purpose. We wanted them to be a little bit darker. And so that is a conscious decision that we made because they're at a funeral. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of information that's being presented to them, and we wanted that to be able to be kind of significant from the lighting. So it was like kind of the back of it was a little bit brighter. You'll see even in the wide shot here, there's aspects of the frame that are a little bit brighter than the rest of the frame. And that was just to give us a little bit of, kind of some visuals that were making it a little bit more exciting. So now we have all these, so we have these three shots here. We have this close-ups and we have our two shots. So let's see how we work with that.
You win that.
So you probably just noticed that you feel a little uncomfortable. There's almost 45 seconds of no talking there. Keep in mind, we're 1 minute and 18 seconds into the film. My filmmaking style is I like to move a little slower. If you've been checking out anything else that's on this YouTube channel, I have a whole series called Slow Down, which is just working on things that are in real time. And so I think what's beautiful about these little moments where they slow down is like, imagine you're in that moment. You as an actual person. This is a person you haven't seen in years. Your brother's just passed away. And this friend from your childhood is trying to comfort you, but really doesn't know anything about you. Doesn't really know what to do with this information. And so in the story, Casey, he has lived at home like closer to the brother, and then Rachel has left. So Rachel has moved further away. So they have different representations of who this person is now. And I wanted to have those uncomfortable pauses. And so in this one specifically, it's almost the exact same frame we stopped on right here, is like he's trying to get her to smile. He's trying to get her to laugh. So he's going to tell her a story about when they were kids. Let's check that out.
You, me, and Sam went to the woods behind her house. It was off of Lee or whatever, and we just went back there and we took all our blankets and we built this like fort, and we just created this world. It was really cool.
It sucks.
Yeah, I know.
So you can see that the music's starting to grow in there. And so, and Mariante, our composer, I talked to her before we even started this film, and I was like, I want you to do the music. I met Mariante, I believe, at a film independent meeting, independent filmmakers kind of get together, and she had a lot of acoustics and these like really beautiful, like these really beautiful melodies, like in music that she had created. And so when I was going to make this film, I knew that I asked her before we even started, would she be interested in, and I was like, it's completely improvised. I don't know what the movie's going to be. And so when she got the when she started doing the music towards the end of it, I was just really blown away at like, it just like, it felt like these memories, and it felt like these fleeting moments, and it felt like these things that happen so fast, but they also happen so slow. It's like these choices that we make pull us further away from everything. And so like in these two friends, you know, she's been gone for a long time, and she even says right there, you know, I just wanted him to come visit me. I wanted him to see my life. And I think that was really important to all of us, because we're all creators out in Los Angeles, and we've all left. And you know, Charles has moved back, and has a beautiful family, and so this is kind of like also before he had that, so it's like talking about that a little bit, even though it's made up. And I just think it's really beautiful that we had the chance to kind of share some of the things that we had to give up. And it's like it's not pressed on me by any stretch of the imagination what I've given up as far as being around family and childhood friends and all those kind of things. And so we make these choices, and we make these things that in our life that also put other things on the back burner. And this is her talking about it. It's like, it was just too short. And so I just thought that was really beautiful. And Mariante's score just really brings it out.
Thought we would have more time. I wanted him to come and see me. You know, to come see what my life was like. You could come.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, that would be fun.
You know where to find me.
I think.
So there at the end, she says, you know where to find me. And once again, completely improvised, but I think by the time we got to this point, everybody had seen basically what the film was, so we knew kind of where it was going. So we were still making up the dialogue and the scenario and everything, but in the world building aspect of it, she says that because he does know where she lives and has also never visited. And it's kind of like, ugh. And so I think that part just kind of like really jams it home of just like, you know where to find me, and he does. And so what's about to happen is we cut forward a little bit, and he does actually come out to do the trip. And so but these were the frames that we had to work with. And when you're making an improvised film, you have to think about, where is the camera going to be? Where is it going to be placed? But also, how are you going to cut to the next thing? I think this conversation was about 25 minutes, and you can see it's only like 2 minutes and 55 seconds of actual footage and actual time. And so think about how it's stitching together. And I think when you're on set, a lot of times people try to rush it, and you only get one try. You know, you only get one time where everybody's going to be there. So slow down and really enjoy the moment. And I took into my next films after this how to build characters and things like that. So even on scripted things, after I finished this film, I would have them do an improvised take just to see what was going on. And like, maybe there was something in there that was useful, even like a moment or a cutaway or whatever you could use with it. But so a couple things to keep in mind here is that because I said I'm going to show how and why. So So why we did it at this cemetery is because we couldn't find a place that would have been local. We would have never been able to film this without being shut down or pushed away. So we just went way far out of town and nobody bothered us. And so we were also very respectful. And that was a big thing that I wanted to make sure is like leave no trace. And I didn't want anybody, because I don't want this to feel like a disgraceful thing. This moment in the movie is very, very much like an anchor of why everything starts the way that it does. And I didn't want anybody watching this movie and being like, oh, they went into the cemetery and made a mess and did all those kind of things. So we were making sure that we were very careful. We didn't even use a tripod. I just had a boom I was holding. So we were very mobile and very aware of it. This scene only took about an hour and a half to film. It would took us longer to drive out there and back and have breakfast than it did for the rest of it. And so it was just four of us. So it was Jane, Charles, myself, and the cinematographer, Kenny. And so Kenny shot it. I did the boom so we could have sound and everything like that. And then, so basically, it costs kind of like breakfast. As far as, I'll be breaking this down, the financials of it at some point. Right now, I'm just going through like how we actually got these scenes together. But in the financials of it, we only spent $7,000 total, and it took less than 7 days. So this was like day 7 of the entire shoot. We shot 5 days, and then we had 2 days of like kind of rough pickups that we went back and finished out the sequence. So if you liked what you watched and you're interested in more, then check out the other videos in this series of how we made the film. But thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you could take something from this story and put it into yours. And I want you to remember that you can always do more for less. That was the whole point of this film, was how much could we do with less? I used cameras that I had laying around that I'd owned for years, including this digital Bolex. I'd owned it for probably 7 or 8 years. It had been sitting in a closet. I had all the sound gear that had been sitting along 15 years of accumulating it. But even if we'd have rented everything, we probably could have still stayed under that $7,000. But we asked some favors, and people donated some things and did deals with us and really supported what we were trying to accomplish. So it wouldn't be possible without that. But thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you learned something, and I will see you next time. If you're interested in watching the whole film, you can head over to bronsоncreative.us. It's available on physical media or to rent, and every one of the purchases goes directly to us, the filmmakers. We're self-distributing it. So thank you for your support, and I hope you have a beautiful day.